Gotta remember to add myself to the stage. Welcome back to another episode of Crypto News with Julie Kennis. I'm your host, Julie Kennis, and guess what? That is right, piece of my mind. That is right. I actually fixed my vertical live. I was able to fix it without adjusting all of my other banners. I am so happy. If you guys are tuning in on the vertical live, thanks for tuning in. I go live every day at 1 o'clock Pacific time, and I have officially figured out how to not get myself into a tiny little box on the vertical. So it is a good day, you guys. It is a good day indeed. In fact, it is such a good day. Even Bitcoin is feeling the good vibes. Yeah, you can see me all right. You can see me all right. I'm excited about it. I hope you guys are feeling the good vibes today. If you guys are over on X, tweet it out, post it out, get some more people in here. They like to shadow ban me. So come join us. If you guys are over on the vertical, which I believe that the vertical is going to be pushing more people into the room. Hopefully, if it all works well, if it all goes according to plan. So, hello, Po-Man, welcome in. In fact, welcome to everyone in the chat. Peace of my mind, you were number 1, and Mike Volmer, you were number 2. Hello, Black Hat team, how are you? John Legend, the legend. We've got all the fam is here. Blocky squeezing in. John Myers, hello. How are you all? I hope you're all having a great start to your Monday. Hello, Maven. How are you? I see you over on the vertical live. So I hope you're having a great start to the week, you guys. I'm happy I got myself out of the little jail on the vertical live. This is a good day. You know, I've wanted to figure this out for some time, and I finally have. Hold on, let me throw the comments up. I'll throw the comments up there. I love having all the comments in. So if you guys are new here, smash a subscribe. I go live every day at 1 o'clock Pacific time and on Friday with the Julie and Joxie show. The Julie and Joxie show is pulling some numbers, you guys. Let me tell you, I usually get pretty decent views on my live streams, but Julie and Joxie are starting to pull open some new and fresh content. Oh, you're in Massachusetts. Me too sometimes. You guys, it is going to be 90 degrees every day this week here in California. I've got my little tan on. I got my little skirt on. I'm like ready for the spring vibes. It feels good. Like, yes, I'm feeling it, you guys. I'm feeling it. I like it. It's good stuff. Bitcoin's feeling the good vibes too, you guys. We are trying to hit 75,000. That's right. We're trying to hit 75,000. The leather was good. You know, so I don't know if it was the leather or not. So on my our Britney Spears live stream, we had 600 views collective on just my YouTube. And so then this next one, we said, you know, that was kind of a hit. Let's do it again. So I get initially all of the watch hours from when I first live stream. And then after it publishes it, it will start accumulating a new set of watch hours. So on the Britney Spears post it being published, I got like 4 watch hours. So I think between the live stream itself, I got like, I don't know, I think 20-ish watch hours. So I got like 25 watch hours. So, but for the Jelly Roll edition that we did last week, that one has already doubled the amount of watch time from Britney Spears. So, which is what that means to me is the people that are tuning in on the Jelly Roll, they are staying for the whole show. So, and then just from like earlier this morning to the lunchtime, I have more watch hours accumulated on it. So people are actively watching that. And so the Julie and Joxie show is not about crypto. It is pop culture. It is life events. It is what's going on. We stay away from politics on the show. We like to keep it fun. We like to keep it, you know, So yeah, we wore leather on Friday. Maybe the leather did it. Who knows? Who knows? But I am getting some interesting comments on it. So that leads me to believe people are watching it. The Jelly Roll show was a lot more controversial. Yeah. In fact, I have been sending some stuff to Joxie because that's all still unfolding in real time. The Jelly Roll controversy is unfolding in real time. So Nicole Arbor supposedly has had some threats on her life. And the Ryan Upchurch has come forward and said that he wanted to help speak on her behalf, even though initially they had like a falling out because they had dated at some time. One point in time. So there's some interesting things going on. Hello, Diego. Welcome into the chat. And hello, Jimmy Nutella. Said, I eat paint. You eat paint. Well, that's good. You might be a little delirious, which is appropriate for this channel. It's appropriate for this channel. So, the Jelly Roll stuff is all unfolding. I think Nicole Arbor has intentionally been a little quiet, but she is slowly kind of coming out and speaking a bit here and there. But if you guys want to follow, go watch the show about the Jelly Roll controversy, and then you can go track it all in real time because it's all unfolding. You know, and I just think it's interesting, and some of it ties in with TMZ and you know, and we talk about TMZ here because TMZ always manages to be right there in the mix of everything. So, but this is not about that. That is it. Friday at 10 a.m. So I'll be back with Joxie Girl. You guys, we're starting to plan our Vegas vacation. I don't know if Vegas is ready for us together. Us in Vegas is going to be a good time. As you guys know, when I usually go to conferences, when I usually go to these things, I will clip the microphone and we will walk around and we will live stream in real time, get you all of the action. So you will get Jox and I in Vegas in real time on the live stream. So it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. I'm going to have to, we're going to have to get Jox, a little liquored up. We're going to get her drunky McSkunky. Okay. So, hopefully she's not watching this now. If you guys are watching this, remember Joxie is a no on tequila. So we should come up with like shots that we could try and get her to take, and then we'll see if if we can get her a little silly on the live stream, and then we'll go bust a move a little bit. We'll dance. But yeah, I've started looking at our hotel, and it's gonna be a good time. So Jox, she has, like she said, she's only been with like her parents and, you know, like with an ex. So it's going to be girls trip in Vegas. It's going to be fun. So, and I will make sure that Joxie is safe and I will not let her out of my sight. I will go I'll be the mean for it. She's not interested in you. She's not interested. I gotta go be her IRL moderator. I'll go be her moderator in real life. Mod's gonna 86 you. Get out of here. Get out of here. So Joxie is silly enough sober. She is silly enough sober, but you know, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'll probably do some edibles. We're going to be silly. We'll, in some of the casinos. So here's what I've learned from like walking around and live streaming in Vegas before. In some of the casinos, it has very poor reception. So hello, Steffi. Welcome. There's very poor reception in Vegas if you're inside the casino. So now where we can go is like out in valet areas. We can go walking around. We could hit Fremont Street and be down there. We could go out in front of like the Bellagio fountains and do that. So, we're going to get silly. We're going to clip on some mics and it's going to be like a marathon. So you guys will have to mark your calendars. So it is the start of the Bitcoin conference is, I'm going to get into Vegas probably April 26th. So that is a Sunday. That is a Sunday. So we may do a little bit of live streaming when we get in on Sunday. The conference goes Monday through Wednesday. So the last day is Wednesday. But Sunday I'll pick up like our badges so that we're badged up and ready to go for Monday morning. It's absolutely a zoo on Monday morning. And so anyway, a little later in this show, no, we'll just do it now. Let me just do it now. Let me just, stop that screen share and I'll pull it up now because I do want to take a look at who some of the speakers are at the conference this year. So Michael Saylor is going to be there, obviously. Chairman of the SEC, Paul Adkins, is going to be there. So Michael Selig, who is the chairman of the CFTC. So, and between Paul Adkins and Mike Selig, you know, we just talk about both of them a lot here on the channel. This is regulation. This is federal regulation in Bitcoin. This is what that looks like. So anyway, they are going to be there. And then we've got David Bailey. Obviously, he's always there. Let's see. Eric Trump will be there again. Cynthia Lummis will probably be making her last speech because, as you guys know, she's not seeking re-election. And so she will be stepping away. So she worked on, obviously, pioneering our Bitcoin legislation, stablecoin legislation, Clarity Act, etc. But yeah, she's not seeking re-election. So then we've got Adam Beck, so co-founder of Blockstream. He would be a good one to see. Simon Jarovich, he is the CEO of Metaplanet. He is the Michael Saylor of Japan. I interviewed him last year and it was a really great discussion. I managed to corner him. He had just a swarm of people around him. And it was one of those things where it was just awesome that I was in the right place at the right time. I positioned myself correctly and I got the on-camera interview with the microphone and all of that good stuff. So this is why I go. Like, where do you normally get to get a conversation on camera with Simon Jarovich? So, let me click view all speakers. Get down here and see who else we've got, see who else I might want to speak with. Arthur Hayes will be there, guys. Last year, Arthur Hayes was like right next to me. I didn't even try and talk to him. Not for any reason other than there were just a ton of people around him. Let's see. Natalie Brunelli will be there. Patrick Witt, sorry. He is from the White House. He is going to be the counsel for the digital asset structure bill. So Caitlin Long is going to be there. She would be an excellent one. I would love a chance to talk to Caitlin Long. So once I register, yes, I'm very good at positioning myself correctly. So I will say, so last year, one of the feedback that I got, that was one of the best pieces of feedback that I received from my going around and live streaming and having discussions, was at one point I went into the media booth and had sat and had some conversations with a couple of different people within the media booth. So while I was there, the conversations I had were really good. I didn't necessarily have the camera pointed on us, but you could hear this one-on-one conversation I was having. And I had like 2 or 3 people message me and say, that was one of my favorite parts. Like we couldn't see what was going on, but we were listening to everything you were saying. So let's see, BlackRock's going to be there. I don't really care to talk to the guys that are going to ruin the industry. Let's see, Riot Platforms would be there. And Riot Platforms, you guys, I would love a chance to chat with Riot Platforms because they are, I'm not sure if they're one of those that has been looking at retrofitting to AI. Because as you guys know, a lot of these companies are switching from Bitcoin mining into AI infrastructure just because everything is already positioned there. So let's see. I don't see anything. All right. Let me see if they have anything else. I'm just interested to see here what it says in terms of if they've discussed making any sort of pivots. Oops, why do I keep pressing that button? Let's see. I don't see anything there, but I feel like I heard somebody saying on their live stream or on their, I'm frozen? I'm frozen? Hold on, let me stop then. Let me stop. Let me stop there. I am frozen. Okay. Can you hear me? Still frozen. Let's close that. Let's close that and see if that works. Okay. It did not like that, you guys. How dare I? How dare I? How dare I multitask? I was being a typical woman and I was opening more tabs. I needed more information. I needed more. It's always more. It's always more. So, okay, let me tell you what I was doing before I so rudely froze myself for you guys. So I went from taking a look at who the conference was to taking a look to see if Riot Platforms has pivoted to AI infrastructure. Now, I looked up quickly, very quickly on my other tab, if Riot has any news about pivoting to AI. And there was no news that I could find, but that doesn't mean that it's not true, because I could have sworn I was listening to a live stream or a video where they were saying all the different companies that were switching from Bitcoin mining to AI infrastructure, and I could have sworn Riot was on the list. So I need to dig into it further. But if I run into Riot Platforms and I get a chance to interview them, I want to know what their stance is on AI and if they want to do any sort of AI retrofitting. I understand why they're doing it, because there's more money coming in right now for AI and the possibility of AI. But here's what I don't get. Like, we know more or less the mechanics of Bitcoin, and we understand how Bitcoin works. We understand that sometimes it's not profitable to be mining. However, is AI going to have a bubble? Eventually, are we going to have a point where AI is at mass saturation? Now, we know there's multiple people in this AI race to try and be like the leader of AI. OpenAI, we have Grok, we have Gemini. There's several different AI. But here's the thing, who's really being profitable at AI? And if an AI business model isn't profitable, then eventually all of the air is going to get sucked out. So while people have been pivoting to AI and they believe in AI, I feel like AI has had a bit of a boom, and eventually it's going to be a bust. It's just like any boom bust cycle. Like, AI boom came out and everybody is speculating on it and everybody's getting into AI. But where is the business model? Where are people making money on it? Because I'm running Grok stuff for free. I'm loading stuff in. Some people are using other AI models for free. But is it truly profitable yet? So then the other thing I think about is like, okay, with social media, with Facebook, with all of these platforms that we have poured so much of our lives into. We've uploaded pictures, we've tagged ourselves places, we've uploaded where we work, we've posted all of these things about ourselves. So, but we come to find out that the reason there's no cost for using this is because they're selling our data. They're actively selling our data. And we have no control over where that data is going. We have no control over where that data is going, who's buying it, what the intention is. So, what is the business model behind AI? What are we feeding into it? Why are we not really having to pay to use these AI models? Is it because we're potentially giving away something that we don't know yet? We're giving away something that we don't realize yet. Like when we all signed up for Facebook, did we know they were going to sell our data? No, we didn't know that till like 10 years down the line. We didn't know that that's ultimately what it became. So is AI just selling your data, or is AI going to be like a back door that's able to actually do things into your computer, or is it AI has been sold to us that it's going to be this great, wonderful thing, but then ultimately is flawed because it's just a fancy search engine? Is it just a fancy search engine? It could be just a fancy search engine. So if all of a sudden everybody decides, oh, these are just fancy search engines, then it's like, the internet, ICO, not the ICO boom, but the internet.com boom, where eventually there was all this money that flooded in for the .com boom. But then a lot of it, what happened? It went to zero. So, all right, you guys, but let's go ahead and take a look at what's not going to zero, which is the crypto charts. I am muted. I knew it. My intuition said I was muted. StreamYard must be a man. That's all I know. StreamYard must be a man. He's like, silence, woman. All right, you guys, here we are on the 1-day chart of Bitcoin. This is where we were leaving it yesterday, because look at this, these consecutive green day candles just looks lovely. However, we do still have money flow in the red, but overall we have had consecutive green days. Someone did say the most sad green day candles ever, but we've started to put in a couple of little chunker boys. So we like the little chunker boys. It's looking a little better. Let's go ahead and drill it in here a little more. Hold on. Let's get us in. Let's take a look at how we're looking here. Let's take a look at it. So will we potentially break away from here and hit into the 75 range? Well, that is, look at this. When we look at it on a 15-minute chart, we have been in the green for quite some time. So this, for me, is all tied to what is going on international. Oh, yes, I like it when it's drilled in. Drill, baby, drill, because I was going to talk about oil. Taking a look at oil. Let's take a look at oil. Oil is currently trading at $94. Will it hit back to 100? Well, We have heard some things internationally about Iran and Israel are bombing each other. In fact, I think I just saw a couple hours ago, there was a pretty significant hit, a couple of significant hits on both the UAE, potentially the airport. Am I frozen again? I am frozen again. I'm just going to sit here and be mad because I'm frozen. Just going to sit here and be mad. I'm fighting with the internet today, you guys. All right, so we were taking a look at oil. I am mad at it. We could try and put it back up. We'll see if it works. We'll see if it behaves. Okay. Woosah, woosah. We'll see. All right, so oil's trading at 94.21. Will it go back to 100? Potentially. And I'm frozen again. I give up, you guys. I'm just going to talk to you. I'm just going to say words and you guys are just going to listen to the words because I don't know what's going on. I restarted and everything. Please, if you all would like to donate to the Buy Julie a New Computer Fund, you can do that by smashing a like, smashing a subscribe, helping support my channel, which will ultimately help me fund a new computer. I was actually looking, you guys, the Mac Mini. If I get a Mac Mini, I can plug it in. I can actually put a cord from the Wi-Fi router, from the router into the Mac Mini. And I will not have this problem anymore. So I need the Mac Mini. I was looking at it yesterday on Amazon. I'm going to have to try and get myself one though. But it's going to have to be after the Vegas conference. So you just got to bear with me right now. Okay. So we're getting closer and closer to being monetized on YouTube though, you guys. I will say I go up above 2,000 watch hours and then I go back to 1,900 and then I go back to 2,000 watch hours and then I go back. So Vegas is going to be that time for me. I can feel it. Although I will say between the Britney and the Jelly Roll episodes that we ran, I'm pulling good watch hours on those. And my most viral video was only 6 minutes long. And it was an interview that I did at NFT NYC with Slum Doge Millionaire. And we just had this quick conversation about coins, meme coins, trading, different chains and things like that. And it was such a magic conversation because we flowed back and forth. We had worked with the same, I don't want to say worked with the same team, but we were very familiar with the same coins, the same teams. So it made for a really good conversation, really good banter back and forth. That one immediately went to it wasn't immediate. It was like a couple of days later. And then the algorithm picked it up and pushed it out and I hit 15,000 views on it. So that I have a feeling that's what's going to happen again. I'm going to upload the video. The video is going to go. It's going to kind of look like it's not doing anything. And then all of a sudden, boom, the algorithm's going to take it and run with it. So I just have to continue on until I hit that next magic interview like that. Okay. So are we going to try? I think we're going to try. I think I'm going to try and get into my news segments. They are, I will say, it's in the same window. Am I phrasing? I'm looking glitchy. Am I looking glitchy? I don't know, guys. All right. We're going to try it. If I get frozen again, if I'm frozen, if I totally end up frozen again, just I'll see it. Thank you. Okay. Let's get into the breaking news. It's there. Okay. Hopefully I don't freeze. Okay. Crypto fund adds 1 billion as 3-week inflow streak continues. So crypto ETP recorded 1.06 billion in inflows last week, led by Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I am frozen again. So I'm already frozen. Oh, there's a whole lot of none of that working for us. So we just close it. We're just going to close it. My internet is trashed today. Oh, yes, it is. It's a Monday. My internet's having a case of the Mondays. But you know, we're doing the things, guys. We're doing it. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. Did I post this out on X? You tell me. Yes, I did. Look at Po Man. You retweeted me. Look at you, Po Man. Shout out, Po Man. All right, you guys, I'm done. I'm making myself laugh because nothing is working right today. So all I can do is laugh about it. Okay, I'm just going to read it to you. You guys can't look. You'll just have to see my face while I read. Okay, so crypto fund adds 1 billion as 3-week inflow streak continues. And I'm frozen again. I can't even click away. You guys, I can't even click away. I can't. The nose cam was actually where it was at. When we were on the nose cam, all of this worked. All of it worked. There was no issues when we were on the nose cam. So, I don't know, you guys. It's not working with me. Because I thought, well, maybe it's because I'm sharing the screen. As soon as I go to the other tab, I'm like, boom, I'm frozen again. So I can't even read it to you. All I can do is talk about what the heck is going on. So right now, I think a lot of everything is having to do with the international markets and what's going on. There are a lot of people who are super unsure of what is going to happen with the war in Iran and what's going on there. So, yeah, Po Man, it could be me sharing my streams at once. Why don't you quit tweeting yourself out, Julie? Have you thought about that? So, in Iran, we're going back and forth with them, right? The Strait of Hormuz is shut down. Saudi Arabia, of course, they have seen this coming for some time now, and they have developed a pipeline going from east to west to get the oil out the other side in case the Strait of Hormuz was shut. So while the U.S. has gone in and done some damage, we have had not only this backup plan with Saudi Arabia putting oil out the other side. Nobody expected that. Okay, so let's talk about what comes through the Strait of Hormuz. Well, the Strait of Hormuz, 90% of it comes from Iran. 90% of it comes from Iran, and it all goes to China. So why are we not seeing people here in the U.S. lining up and freaking out about the gas prices like they are in China? Well, it's because China's receiving all of its oil from Iran, from the Strait of Hormuz, which has been shut down. And so we're continuing to receive our oil. The fact that the price is going up here is really just because there is now there's scarcity of oil. There is less oil being traded, so the price is going up. Even though the oil that we receive is still continuing to flow because our oil isn't coming from the Strait of Hormuz. In fact, a lot of what's going on now, in case you forgot, we went and captured Maduro. And since we captured Maduro, we've also captured their oil. Now, we used to do business with Venezuela. We used to go over there and we used to have more friendly business international relations with the country. And I, as you guys know, my family worked in oil and gas for a very long time. My father was the site manager of Chevron Simric, which is one of the largest oil leases here in Kern County. And my mom continued to work in oil, doing pipelines and things like that for quite a long time until she eventually had to move into renewables because of the moratorium on fracking. Now, California is a very energy-rich country. We have offshore drilling. I'm sure if you've been to Santa Barbara, you've seen the offshore drilling rigs. I used to know people that would get picked up and flown from the shore to the barge, and they would stay on the oil barge for like 2 weeks at a time. Those guys made really good money. They made really good money. Since we have quit pumping and doing that, the oil literally just seeps out of the ground and the beach. Like, think about the dinosaurs getting sucked into the tar swamps, right? Okay, so that is real. And if you go to Santa Barbara, because we're not pumping, the oil naturally just seeps out of the oil. So when you leave, you have tar all over your feet. So in addition to that, there's a huge oil reserve in Los Angeles. I used to live right off of like Wilshire Boulevard, and this whole city street of Wilshire Boulevard is a giant wall of an entrance to an underground oil field. Now, a lot of the oil field is above ground. If you continue going south from like that Brentwood, Beverly Hills area, you continue going south. Sepulveda. If you go south on Sepulveda, eventually you start going through the oil lease. Okay. Now, again, we have a moratorium on fracking because our government in California has decided we want to support renewables. So since we're supporting renewables and we're not polluting the air, there's a moratorium on fracking, which the moratorium on fracking has been sold to the Californians as the fracking for oil production is what's causing earthquakes. I'm sorry, the earthquakes were never there before we started drilling for oil. I'm sure the tectonic plates never existed before we discovered oil and started drilling and no, in fact, if you actually learn about the earth and how thick and dense the earth is and the layer of which we are fracking to extract oil is nowhere near. Like, if you go look at all the deepest boreholes around the earth, because there's a lot of them, you go look at how deep they are, and then you compare that to the level of what we're fracking, you would understand that what we're doing is not causing the shifts in these tectonic plates. Because we're not fracking now, and there's still earthquakes. It's not because of what we're doing. So, but what we've done is we've decided that a policy is going to make us completely dependent on foreign oil. Completely dependent on foreign oil. And it makes no sense to me. Like, look, solar on your house will make you have a smaller electric bill. Nothing else will give you a smaller electric bill. Gasoline is not going to give you a smaller electric bill. Okay, gasoline is for your car. Why the fight of renewables and solar and oil makes no sense. They're two completely different use cases. Completely different. Don't even get me started on wind, because wind literally needs the oil to get the propeller running. You can see them leaking oil. So that is a complete farce. Do windmills work? Yeah, we used windmills. Farmers used windmills for a long time before there was electricity. You put a windmill at the pump, and that windmill would power that pump where you had no electricity in the middle of the field. That was how farmers farmed and had agriculture back in the day. But if you actually look up solar and agriculture use solar to power a water pump has gone back like over 100 years. 100 years ago, there was people in Africa that were using solar panels to pump water. So, and you can't say that solar's no good. Look, you could dig out some old crusty calculator from 1980, and I guarantee you press on, it works. There's no battery in it. There's never been a battery in it. It's just a solar panel. It's just a little solar panel, and it works forever. It works forever. You know, like even that tornado that went through and whipped up that whole solar field. You guys, none of those panels broke away from the racking. They all stayed attached. They all stayed attached. Now you can talk about, oh, this is, you know, contaminants leaking into the water and things like that. But that type of stuff happens from everything. You have toxic runoff you have toxic waste from pretty much every electric source right now. So, but my first project in power and electricity, I worked on a combined cycle. It was like a oh my gosh, it was a cogen facility out in the oil fields, and this cogen would take the excess runoff from the oil fields and it would cycle it in, create power out of it. This huge facility that we worked on, I think it only ended up, I can't remember what the megawatts were on it. It was one of the largest in the States at the time, but this facility needed 150 people around the clock working on it to keep it online. So the business model ended up going through bankruptcy, and they had to sell off that particular facility. I think it's probably closed now, but that was my first job out of high school. I was working, there was like, I forget how they used the water, but there was like a water portion that they used for cooling. And then, yeah, at the end, once they were done, there was like this very toxic brine substance that they had to like dispose of. And so, you know, that is just what comes from doing the business and being energy independent. And while I don't think we should be completely going to town and drilling all these new wells and doing all these things, there are oil industries, oil leases that could come back online. We could keep pollution to a minimum. You know, it doesn't need to be like the heyday where every project was getting rubber stamped and go ahead and build it, and who cares about the pollution? Because if you went through LA in the 90s and you went through LA now, you know there's a difference between the smog in the air then and how clear the air is now. So I can't knock all of the green policy because they have improved the quality of our air. And it is important for us to not have like heavy metal toxic pollutants in the air. But again, you can do these things. We have offshore drilling rigs. The oil is seeping through the ground. If you start pumping from the drilling rigs again, people can go enjoy the beach and not get tar all over their feet. You know, when so many people in LA are dependent on their cars and driving, why are we not producing oil there? It just doesn't make any sense. So instead, we have pushed it all abroad. We've pushed it and built out the UAE. And the UAE, look at now, they're in the middle of a war zone. And people, I believe the airport was hit today in the UAE, in Dubai. And so people who were already struggling to leave now, if this is true, they can't leave. Now, they're even saying that the people that live there that are posting stuff online like, oh, hey, I'm okay, you know, and then a picture of the damage, those people are getting arrested. Those people are getting arrested. So what I see happening right now is the rest of the world is really freaked out about what's going on because the Strait of Hormuz is shut down. Saudi Arabia already had a plan with a pipeline in place, and they already knew something like this was going to go on. You can look at the map in that zone and you can kind of more or less see what's going on. I made a post about Turkmenistan. I had this like weird little obsession with Turkmenistan for a minute. Turkmenistan shares the northern border of Iran. So Iran is there, and then you have like other countries that are involved in some sort of conflict. Syria, Iraq, we've got Yemen, Dubai, Saudi Arabia, all of those, UAE, all of that. It's all clustered right there. They're all clustered right there. So, but now by going this other port out the backside of Saudi Arabia, you take it essentially away from all these countries. But where I was going with Turkmenistan is that was part of the Soviet Union, the old Soviet Union. And so there's a cluster of countries that were all Soviet countries that are now independent. And then you have Russia and China. Okay. So it's all kind of clustered here. We've got Russia and China working together, but China is now freaking out because they have no oil coming in. They have no oil coming in. And so because they're freaking out with no oil coming in, and now oil is getting diverted around, Iran doesn't have that stronghold over the Strait of Hormuz that they were hoping that they would. They thought they could shut it down and control the world, and now they can't. Now they can't. And then in addition to that, back in Venezuela, where we used to have friendly diplomatic relations, and we used to have oil companies that were producing there and doing business with us. They're still down there. So I was trying to find the video, and I can't find it because I watched too many YouTubes, but it was a news piece, and it was the US diplomats and us going down to Venezuela to meet with Chevron. And this was the Chevron refinery, the biggest Chevron refinery out of Venezuela. And the U.S. diplomats is working with Chevron to quadruple the size of this Chevron refinery, of this Chevron output. So quadrupling the size there, and it's just a short trek from South America to where we need it here in the US. And so it puts us in a really interesting space for everything. And while it seems like things are very unstable, I feel like Trump is playing like 4D chess. He knew coming into it that he only had a short amount of time to be effective because his first 4-year term went really fast. And from what I've noticed after a lot of presidents have come into office, you really only get 2 years. The first 2 years is all you get before all of a sudden you're starting to campaign for the next presidency. And so you have to make all of your moves really in the first 1 to 2 years, because then it starts looking at, okay, let's look at the next candidate. Let's look what's coming on down the road. And you can see we're already starting to talk about it. But Trump knows that like time is of the essence. If he's really going to make his mark on his term, we're at the end, we're nearing, going to be nearing the end of his second term. And so he has to make the moves now and put the pieces in place. And so his first term, he was like privy to all this information. Here's what's going on international, and he's had time to sit and think about that. We don't really have presidents that get into office and then they're out of office for a term to think about things they would have done differently and ways they could improve. And this is a chance where he's like really had, 4 years to sit back and go, with the information I had, here's what I would have done differently. I would have done X, Y, Z. And so whether this is all stuff that he maybe planned ahead of time, I think some of it is. I think some of it has been a little prompted by other things. But I feel like overall it is bullish for the US. I feel like BRICS was really feeling like they had a stronghold against us. You started to see Russia and China, deepening their alliance together. And now for the first time, like they were trying to shut down the Strait of Hormuz and, we're going to let the tankers through, but the oil must be traded in the yuan instead of the US dollar. So they were trying to force the move away from the petrodollar. And we're like, not going to let that happen. So there's a lot that's going on. And, I think there's going to be a lot of energy independence at the forefront of what's going to happen within the U.S. in the next couple of years. Just here in Kern County, they're permitting 2,000 new oil wells per year. So there's going to be new oil wells that are going to be going in. I don't know if those are going to be retrofitting any of the wells, old wells, or if they're all new wells, but it's within the oil leases. But it takes time for the energy production to ramp up. And Gavin Newsom has actively tried to take the refineries offline that will refine the oil into fuel that you can use to drive with. So anyway, I think all eyes right now are on what's going on in the Strait of Hormuz, what the oil price is, and all of the geopolitical stuff. Because right now we know it doesn't matter what's going on with market structure, Bill. What's going on with ETFs, ETPs, what institutions buying, how much Michael Saylor's buying. None of that's moving the needle. None of that's moving the needle. But we are at a time where I think there has been the most uncertainty, the maximum fear. And so I feel like, now is the good time to continue to accumulate your Bitcoin because things are down. It's down. It's down. Now's the time to accumulate. So, because you don't want to buy it when it's 100K. It's going to feel a lot worse when you're like, I could have bought it at 75. So hopefully we will head to 75 next. And that is the show for today, you guys. If you're new here, smash a subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,400 subscribers, and I'm getting super close. Yeah, the Senate's still too busy yapping to do anything anyway. Yeah, and we have a government shutdown. They're telling us to tip the TSA with gift cards. Imagine that. If we all tip TSA with gift cards, they would be loaded. The government would love that. So, but that's the show for today. Smash the subscribe. I will be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock Pacific time and again on Friday at 10 a.m. Thanks for tuning in. As always, this show is powered by the Gokhshtein News Network and sponsored by Market Cipher. If you would like to use Market Cipher, there is a link in the description. Shout outs to you guys, Market Cipher. You guys have made it easy to know which way the market is going to go. So if you want to be in the know, tap in with Market Cipher. I will see you all on the next one. Bye-bye.